welcome to another edition of Long Beach Treasures. I'm your host, Harvey Keller. Today we're in East Long Beach and we're going to be touring a couple of ranch-styled homes designed by architect Cliff May. We have a couple beautiful examples and I think you're really going to enjoy them. And joining me now is one of the homeowners, Doug Kramer. Doug, welcome.
Thank you.
Well, let's just walk on in and
Okay.
while I ask you some questions, I want people to see the house. It's spectacular.
Well, thank you.
What constitutes a ranch house?
Well, ranch homes are, they tend to have a horizontal format. They tend to be about a connection to nature and sort of a closeness to the ground, to nature. So you'll obviously see a characteristic in them that they are generally single level. They are generally kind of clean lines. And these particular ranch homes, I think, are unique in that Cliff May embraced modernism in his designs.
Was he a pioneer in the development of this style of home?
He really was. I mean, he's widely considered to be the father of the ranch home. And the ranch homes that we see across America are generally believed to be kind of hybrids or versions of his original designs.
And these are from what era?
1950s, 53, 54, post-war.
Would this have been affordable housing during that period?
I think I would refer to it as housing designed for individuals post-war looking to start families, first-time buyers. Not affordable housing, but really low cost, relatively low cost, relative to custom designs, obviously, like Park Estates.
What were the prices?
They ranged, as I understand it, from about $9,000 to about $12,000, which is astonishing, you know, by today's standards, because now we're in the $600,000-700,000s. It's amazing.
Upgrade a little bit, huh?
Yes, yes.
Can we go in and check your
Absolutely.
house out?
Please do. Watch the step and watch the cats as we enter here.
Now, what's your square footage?
We have just under 2,000 square feet here. Watch that little step there as you come in. And the original square footage on this house was a bit less. There have been some expansions by the previous owners. And really one of the unique things about Cliff May and his architecture is that his homes were one of the first examples of prefab homes. In other words, all the materials were essentially already put together and prefabricated in the warehouse and then shipped out ready to construct.
That'd almost be like the old Sears house in the turn of the century, wouldn't it?
I
houses.
I think you could draw some parallels there, absolutely. And what it leads to in the modern day is the fact that these houses are very scalable. You can easily kind of take out a wall and push out or expand here, expand there. So they're very scalable in that respect, that they're sort of modular in their design and they're very symmetrical and you can easily build out in certain areas.
Now, it seems like his homes were very much a lot of glass facing the outside.
Right. Well, that's certainly one of the modernism aspects to his designs, and that's one of the things that makes them so intriguing and so valuable today, is that unlike the ranch home that sort of spread across America, Cliff May really embraced that modernism and that floor-to-ceiling glass and the clear story glass and that openness to the outdoors and the frankness of the architecture with the open beam ceilings is really modern. And it's something, unfortunately, that didn't carry on in the ranch home design, which is one of the things that makes these so unique.
I want to make sure we get to see the
Sure.
front room.
Yeah, this is all part of the addition here. And actually where we're standing was a lanai, which this was the lanai model. And it was an open space, open to the outdoors, yet covered. And then where I'm going to stand over here was actually the garage. So they basically just pushed the house out to the minimum setback on the street in order to enhance this interior space and create more interior space. And they did a nice feature here of blowing out the other side of the fireplace so that we have a two-way fireplace, four-sided. Now we're going to be changing that. That's going to be all stone there. We don't really like the mirror, but it's a nice element to have that four-sided fireplace in the middle of the room.
And you have a relatively small kitchen area.
Well,
It's not really small, but
it's actually large by Cliff May Rancho standards.
Oh, it is?
Very large. And the original kitchens in these homes are one of the things that individuals are changing. The 21st century resident in here tends to be coming in. They tend to come in and blow out the walls and put in island kitchens to open up the rooms even more. Here we have a relatively large room, so we're going to keep this 7-foot divider here, but by Cliff May Rancho standards, this is a large kitchen.
can we go on
Sure.
back and
Come on back here. I'm going to show you my favorite room, which is my office here. And the reason this is my favorite room is because of the serenity, and because I think this really is the best representation of Cliff May's designs here. The clear story windows and the floor-to-ceiling glass here. You know, the doors. This is a signature Cliff May door. Really one of the characteristics you would look at and you say that's definitely a Cliff May with this crossbar here.
And I think this window is probably typical Cliff May too, the way
Yeah.
it opens there.
Yeah, this is an original window and swings out.
Oh,
Whereas the homes on the other side of mezzanine slide. So we have the casement, they have the sliders. Another variation you'll see from this side of mezzanine to the other side of mezzanine is that we have tongue and groove ceilings. Whereas on the other side they have Celotex, which was a product I guess they adopted in 1954 when they started building those that provided a little bit better insulation.
so these homes were built before the other section?
Yes, this section was built first. So we got the tongue and groove, and then our beams are actually 5 feet on the center, 5 feet all the way down.
So there's absolutely no insulation on the roof area?
Exactly, unless some individuals do put insulation, a layer of insulation on the roof, but in terms of interior insulation, no. You're looking at basically a very thin ceiling.
Can we go on and
Please, yes.
check it out?
Absolutely.
You must like also modern furniture because I see so much of it in the house.
Well, we're in transition, and we really became enamored with modernism within the last 3 years, and so we're beginning to collect more and more modern furniture. Here, you're gonna see that we have not done this room modern yet. This is furniture that my wife had before we got married, and so we just kind of have held on to some of this. So this is a more traditional looking room.
This is a nice sized master's bedroom, isn't it?
Yeah, and here again, this is where the room has been expanded. Basically, the house was an L shape, and we just expanded that L, or rather the previous owners did. And this has been bumped out about 5 feet to create this enhanced space here. But again, what I love to point out to everybody is that every room in the house has this great connection to the outdoors with floor-to-ceiling glass that spans 10 feet in width. And it's one of the things about Cliff May's designs that makes them so special is this connection to the outdoors. It's tremendous.
Now I see the master bath there. I'm sure that's not original.
That's right. The previous owners here again, they wanted some more additional space and more consistent with, you know, modern living. They pushed this out this way, again horizontally, in order to create this additional space here. Put in a jacuzzi tub, which is kind of nice to have, and then they created space back here for a walk-in closet.
It's a well laid out house.
You know, I've been in homes that are considerably more expensive that do not feel as large and do not have as comfortable an environment because it's laid out so well. I mean, it really is a maximum use of the lot, and that's what I love about Cliff May's designs. I mean, he grew up in the hacienda environment of early 20th century California, and his family was of Spanish Mexican descent, or his mother's side rather. And so they grew up in haciendas, and he really incorporated a lot of that hacienda style into his designs, in the sense that the hacienda was kind of designed around the family and the family's private use and enjoyment, as opposed to more of the traditional neighborhood tract home, which is designed more to have a front lawn and then the house and then you have a backyard.
You know, when I drove up, I see so many of the homes like yours. When the gate's closed, it affords a lot of privacy. People can't see in. It would almost appear like it's an unfriendly neighborhood because you never see people outside unless they're in their garage.
You know, there is that perception, and just to walk out here and kind of, you know, feel that ambiance. There is that perception when certain individuals come in here, they're either turned off by that or they're really excited by that. It seems to kind of run right down the middle. But when you're in this environment, I mean, it's really the best environment you can have as an owner, as a resident in these homes, because of the privacy, the serenity, the way that you're really just, it's a refuge from the outside world.
Now, these homes are just about 50 years old,
Yes.
a little over. And that's what you need to be declared a historic district.
Yeah,
now,
generally you want to, they want to see an age of about 50 years or more.
my point is that so many of these homes are still look like the original.
Right.
And before somebody comes in and starts putting second stories on or stuccoing them or something, would you ever consider, or would you ever want to be considered a historic neighborhood?
Well, there's a lot of interest in the neighborhood for that, just because we want to, we would like to preserve what is left. And there have been some second-story additions, and certainly one can understand why one would want to expand and have more space. But as we've shown here, you can really achieve that on a horizontal basis in keeping with the spirit of the architecture. And in keeping really the integrity of the architecture and of the home. So yeah, we do have a strong interest in really maintaining the character of these homes, which is part of what's boosting their value. I mean, there's nothing like them out there, and individuals are really seeking them out.
Let's take a break and then we'll go check out another home. So stick around, we'll be right back with more Long Beach Treasures.
I love coffee, I love tea, I love the Java Jive and it loves me. Coffee and tea and the Java and me, a cup, a cup, a cup, a cup, a cup. Coffee and tea and the Java and me, yeah. A cup, a cup, a cup, a cup.
Working out can be intimidating.
That's why we created Executive Fitness, a private training studio.
At Executive Fitness, we work with you one-on-one, helping you achieve your personal fitness goals.
With personal training, you get a more targeted, effective workout, which saves you time and produces better results.
Workouts are by appointment only, so there are never any crowds and you can exercise in comfort.
And we're easy to find, downtown on Pine Avenue.
Stop being intimidated by big health clubs.
Call us at Executive Fitness today.
Welcome back to Long Beach Treasures. Joining me now is another homeowner up here. This is Kevin Quina.
Correct. Kevin Quina.
And this is another one of the Cliff May houses. I love how you did your garage entryway.
Yeah, I really didn't want it to be all cement, and this way it adds a pattern, and the water goes right through. It's
And your wall
environmental
here
friendly.
with the glass insets, that must look beautiful at night if it's lit up.
Yeah, there's so many heavy cement walls. I tried to make it less prison-like than some of the cement walls around, and so we added glass for the light and made sure that you can't see terribly well, so you can't see all the naked people inside.
I had mentioned to Doug earlier that with all the block walls and not being able to see in the yard, that one just going through might think it's an unfriendly neighborhood. But then, Doug, you said that the front gate was really your front door.
Yeah, I mean, the unique feature is that, yeah, the gate is your front door, essentially. And when you enter into the house, you're essentially entering into an outdoor room of the house. And they were designed with that in mind, that the outdoors is really part of the indoors. It's incorporated into that living experience.
Now, I know in the Midwest, a lot of times people used to set out in their garage and talk. Does that happen in this neighborhood?
Well, now that we have yards, we don't sit in the garage as much. It's a little dusty and dark.
Occasionally we open our gates and invite folks in, but it's not an unfriendly neighborhood. It's just folks who have a certain mentality about living and really want to maximize the enjoyment of their own living space. But it's terrific for entertainment. The layouts that we have, having individuals in and entertaining them, it's a perfect experience for that.
The house surrounds the yard, but the only way to really capitalize on the yard is to provide some privacy. And so that's what really what all the walls are for, is because the houses are wide open and all glass, and without the walls you would be seeing
No privacy.
too many naked people.
Well, speaking of entertaining, let's go in because I want to check out the pool area. It looks fantastic from what I can
Come on
see.
in.
Oh, this is beautiful. Did you design it?
Thank you. Yes, I did. I had the concept, and I worked with an architect from Santa Monica at the firm Synthesis. But I wanted a lap pool, and I also wanted a pool design that would allow me to also have a large patio area, and I wanted a lot of sitting area in the pool. So I made the pool shallow, and I put a lot of steps in the pool, and so I consider this very much an adult pool. You get to exercise in it, and you get to sit in it and have a cocktail.
And you said you made them sign a disclaimer as they came in the front door so that they don't trip over this?
Well, it is. Yeah, the beautiful design is somewhat dangerous, and so we limit the intoxicating beverages, and we also have people sign a disclaimer at the door because we've lost a few in the cracks. People.
This is quite unique. Does it bubble or anything?
It does. It lights up, so you have so you feel like you're on a disco floor, and often people dance then. But at night, the light shines down each of the alleys, the waterways, and so the light comes up from above.
Kevin, how long have you lived here?
4 years.
And what brought you to the area?
I was in Belmont Shore, and I loved Belmont Shore, but I couldn't afford it, and so I wanted a single-family home, and I looked all around, and these were the most unique, interesting houses that I found. I liked the modern architecture. I'm from the north, and I really wanted to maximize my California experience, and so I wanted a house that had a lot of glass. I wanted a house where I could enjoy the yard. I wanted a house where I could see outside, and I wanted a house that I could enjoy palm trees and enjoy a tropical setting.
You know, what some of these houses sort of remind me of is Hawaii, where you have the homes built of glass around a lanai or a courtyard.
Hawaii or Palm Springs or any sort of indoor-outdoor living place. I know that one. I don't know if I shouldn't say this, but this house has been used for a lot of shoots that want to capture the Hawaii or the Palm Springs feel.
Can we go inside and check it out?
Please.
You know, Harvey, on that note, I was going to say that the original name of the homes when they built the development was the Californians. They called them the Californians because they were sort of that quintessential California experience. And the tract here actually sold out before they finished building the first set of homes. When individuals saw them, they were so enamored by that indoor-outdoor experience and about that quintessential California feel or ideal that they sold out very quickly.
And didn't you say there were about approximately 700 in the tract?
Approximately 700, yes.
Wow, that was quite a development back then.
It was, yeah. Yeah, it's actually the largest, to my knowledge, the largest Cliff May tract in the country.
Did he design homes in other parts of the country other than California?
His designs are spread throughout the country and the world. The
Oh.
tract homes are primarily in the western states because obviously they lend themselves more to a warm weather environment. But he's had more than 18,000 tract homes built under his name.
By the way, do you spend a lot of time on gardening and maintenance of your front yard?
No, no, it's all rocks. So not at all.
Now, this is completely different than Doug's home. It looks different.
Yeah, well, I'm different than Doug, and
You have an open kitchen area first thing I noticed.
correct. I spent so much time designing the pool in the outdoor area that I wanted to make sure I could see it while I was cooking. And these homes originally had a partition wall that came up to here. I think the idea was to hide some of the kitchen, but they had plumbing and they had water and sewer here, so they're a perfect setup to put an island kitchen in, and that way I can stand here and cook, and I can see the whole world and see my pool.
With the heavy-duty refrigerator and stove, you must have spent a lot of time in the kitchen.
I'm a serious cook, and I'd be cooking if you weren't here now.
What would you be cooking?
I would probably be making a big brunch with eggs and bacon for myself, and using the griddle.
I love the old TVs. Do you collect TVs?
Yes, it's a crazy collection, but I like design, and I like the design of early TVs. These were a particular modern TV. Let's see, that they actually swivel, and this was the first TV where they separated the monitor from the speaker. And they didn't sell very well because they scared people. They look a little bit like, this one looks like a monster, or maybe the maid on the Jetsons. It's going to walk around.
Out of curiosity, do you know what period that would be from?
1958 to 1960.
Oh. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Doug, you said this was a typical Cliff May feature, the glass wall here?
Yeah, these glass walls unfortunately have been taken out of a lot of these homes, but this was an original feature in, I believe, every single home that they built. And again, just a modern touch, a nice modern touch. And really the purpose of it was to provide some separation from the living space and the kitchen. You know, the mentality back then was a bit different than it is now, that the kitchen should sort of be separated, a different room, whereas now they're opening them up and making it part of the living space.
Kevin, is the wood on the sliding doors there, the closet, is that original?
Yes, that's original birch paneling, and they left it natural. It was a new concept after the war to just shellac it, and so that's birch plywood paneling that a lot of people have painted, but fortunately it was original.
Can we go in and check out one of the bedrooms
Sure.
back here to see?
Sure. Another thing about this glass is Cliff May did he tried to do privacy but allowing light to penetrate. All the bedrooms have glass in between them. There's glass. He wanted to design a house that you didn't need any light for during the day, and this allows light to get into the kitchen but allows some privacy.
Now, you said you like the industrial look. Is that why you have the cement floors and the large refrigerator and stove? And
I think the modern industrial look is kind of a stepchild of the modernist movement in the 50s. I think it's clean and it's very simple, and they're modern materials.
Let's go check out. We've only got a short time left, and I want to see everything.
Now this is why I bought the house, so I could sit in the bed and I look out and see the whole world right here. I look out and I can walk right out and jump into the pool right out of bed. And but the glass makes it. I feel like I'm sleeping in a garden here.
And the wall gives you enough privacy that there's nobody can see in or over.
No, no. A few people jump up and down, but I throw rocks at them.
And I see you have a lemon tree that you just open the window, take a lemon and squeeze it into your drink?
Right. And those mostly garnishes I grow back there.
This is 3 bedrooms, 2 baths?
3 bedroom, 2 bath, in a surprisingly small amount of square footage.
What is the
Originally,
square
it was about 1130.
Okay, go ahead.
1,130 square feet. But when I walked into it, it didn't feel small at all. I thought that's a terribly small house, but when you have a big room and you have all glass, 1130 doesn't feel small.
Well, we're just about out of time. I want to thank you for letting us come through your home.
Thank you,
Doug,
Harvey.
I want to thank you for letting me go through your home. Now, our viewers are going to have a good idea of what a Cliff May house looks like. And if I'm not mistaken, you're a realtor and you specialize in Cliff May houses. So if anybody wants one, all they have to do is contact you.
Yeah, well, thanks for the plug. Yes, that's true.
All right. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
Pleasure.
Let's all go swimming.
All right.
Okay.
Meet you in the pool. That's our show, so come back again next month as we take another walk through history and uncover more Long Beach treasures.